Daniela here, and oh man, I am so sorry. I said I was gonna be doing these reviews for Hwayugi, A Korean Odyssey, and I'm like super behind. And the whole reason is because it actually takes me a long time to watch the show and actually be critical and think about what I want to say. And then I've just kind of been putting it off because it's so hard to actually think about a drama as I'm watching it. But it's a really fun exercise. I'm enjoying the challenge, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But in order to catch up and finally like be able to do this more easily, I'm gonna be putting together 4 episodes. So in this video, I'm gonna be reviewing and analyzing episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. And in the next video, I'll do episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10, which was the last 2 episodes that were aired over the weekend. And then I'll be all caught up. So after that, it'll be shorter and just 2 episodes. But okay, now that that's out of the way, if you haven't watched my review for episode 1 and 2, please watch it here because it actually explains a lot about things like the original story, because if you didn't know, Hwayugi is actually based on a really famous Chinese book. So I kind of explain some of that, and I tell you a little bit about the characters and that sort of thing, so please watch it, because otherwise this won't make that much sense. Obviously, there's spoilers. The first 2 episode review was, because it's so much setup, you know, I didn't really go into that many spoilers, but in this one, spoilers galore. So if you haven't watched the show and you don't want spoilers, you probably shouldn't be watching this right now. Like, honestly, what are you doing? Like, go watch the show and then come back. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Man, oh man, did so much happen in these 4 episodes. We learned so much, and I'm just gonna kind of group it all together by kind of topic because going chronologically would take way too long. So, first thing is, of course, we finally find out the powers of the bracelet. We see how that works. So if you guys remember in episode 2, Sunmi, who is Samjang-chu, who's like the monk, she's not really a monk, but she's the person from heaven that has to fulfill some sort of heavenly duty. She is associated to this guy, the Monkey King, who is kind of like a god demon, very powerful, and he's very selfish. So in order to control him, she put a bracelet on him. And now we know how the bracelet worked. It actually made Gong, the Monkey King, fall in love with her, and it's hilarious. Like, he doesn't really love her in the sense that like he knows it's fake feelings, but he can't help himself and he feels all the feels. So it's really hilarious. He flip-flops from like being so in love and being giddy and cute and to like being really angry because he knows it's not true, or being really hurt because of something that she said, to like buying her cute little things to make her happy, to putting on the moves and trying to like get something happening and then being upset when it doesn't work out. Like, he's hilarious. The best part is him being jealous when like everybody else is in a group chat together and like katok is like going all over the place and he's excluded. Priceless. We also saw the animosity between Mawang and Gong get worse and worse and worse. Honestly, by episode 6, it was so bad that I can't really see it getting any worse than this, which hopefully means that in the future they're gonna be like a little bit more buddy-buddy or like helpful with each other. So from the very beginning, they haven't particularly been very happy or kind towards each other. They kind of have this hate-hate relationship going. But it went from like petty fights over the bull statue being used as a coat rack to like full-on putting Sunmi's life in danger. So basically what happened was Magwan was the one that gave the bracelet to Sunmi, and as payment for his help, she now has to find spirits for him. Find them, kill them, capture them, whatever. And Sunmi is human. She's not gonna do it. The person that's gonna do it is Gong, who's now her like love slave. And Gong is not happy about this. He's basically catching ghosts and spirits for Magwan, who like, he's not impressed. They struck a deal, but still there's a lot of anger in Gong because of it, and in retaliation he actually feeds Gong some of Sunmi's blood. And we know that because Sunmi is a Samjang, her blood really attracts monsters and demons, and so Magwan went crazy and he's hungering after her. He's trying to eat her, to the point that his secretary actually went ahead and behind his back tried to set that up so that Sunmi would die and her blood would go everywhere and Magwan would like just eat her and get it over with. Thankfully that didn't happen. Thankfully Sunmi is fine, but in the process of being saved by Gong and Mawang, she found out about what Oh-gong did. So of course she's not very happy. She feels betrayed. She feels very alone in this world of monsters. And yeah, things got really bad. So hopefully from here on out, things between Oh-gong and Ma-won don't get any worse, because I'm not really sure Sunmi would be able to survive if they do. But moving past that, we actually learn a little bit about Ma-won's backstory. He's in love with a woman who seems to have literally fallen from heaven. I'm not sure how to like take that scene, but we see her in 1930s Korea during the occupation times of Japan, and she dies very painfully, and apparently that's something that she does, like that's like she's reborn and dies. And so Ma-won is trying to collect points to save her. One thing about this like lady character, Ma-won's love interest, is that we don't know anything about her right now, but if you're a fan of the original story or you know anything about it, you know that the bull demon, who is Ma-won's character, was married to a woman called Princess Ironfan. And in the original story, the Monkey King tricks her, or like punches her from the inside because he's tiny and inside her stomach, it's weird, into giving him her fan. And yeah, like so I'm guessing that this person is Princess Ironfan, or like that's her character base. But in episode 1, Ma-won was looking for a fan that Oh-gong had, and that's how Sunmi gets involved with them to begin with. So is the fan Princess Ironfan's fan? Is that why Oh-gong was trapped? Is that why they like hate each other so much? I'm curious to see what is the backstory there. We also get 2 new characters in these 4 episodes. I'll start with the second one that we met, mostly because I don't think he'll be that important. His name is Jonathan, and he's a Korean American director that comes to Ma-won's entertainment company, Lucifer Entertainment, and he is pitching this idea for this movie about a girl in the countryside who's like best friends with a giant magical cow. And of course, it's all supposed to be kind of like a satire of the very popular, very famous Netflix movie Okja, which is about a Korean girl in the countryside who's best friends with a giant pig. So if you haven't seen Okja, it's awesome. It's sad, it's like deep, it makes you think about the world. I really recommend it, but it is a bit graphic, so just prepare for the tears. Yeah, so he comes here, and the girl in his story is based on his first love, a girl that he met in Korea, blah, 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 who is, of course, Sunmi, because it's a drama. Like, who else would be his first love, you know? Like, of course, his first love is Sunmi, and he sees her as an adult, and she catches his eye, and so we see that his role is probably gonna be to just make Oh-gong jealous, perhaps incite more of a relationship development between Oh-gong and Sunmi. We'll see what happens. The second character I'm going to talk about, which is the first one that was introduced to us, is one of my favorite characters now. Her name is Buja, which kind of like, you could say it's kind of like rich girl because they think that she's rich. And she's a zombie that was reanimated with Sunmi's blood, whatever. And she goes from like being like a zombie to being fed some energy balls, and then now she's like actually more human. She talks normal, she can think, she has emotions, she's fine, except she's rotting because she's still pretty dead. So with some magic and some help from like all of their buddies, they give her a makeover, they like chill her a bit so that she's not so warm and rotting more quickly. I don't know. And they're going around, like all of the characters are basically helping to try to figure out who she is, to give her closure before she actually has to die dead, because she's a zombie. She needs to die. Like there's no way that she's gonna stay alive, but because she doesn't remember who she is, they want to give her closure before that happens. I really like her. I love like her like dead face, and she like says the most ridiculous things, but like dead face, so great. And finally, the big reveal of these 4 episodes. And no, it's not the fact that he said I love you while the bracelet was frozen, because we all knew that was gonna happen. Like I personally was not surprised or shocked by that. The big reveal is pam pam pam, the end of the world. Hashtag no biggie, you know, we're all gonna die, everything's cool, no problem, whatever. Yeah, so Sunmi finally figured out what her job for heaven is. And she basically has to close the gates of hell because they're gonna open, and the gates of hell opening on Earth basically means we're gonna have nuclear war. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Actually, I really like that. I thought that was a cool modern twist to like a typical apocalyptic situation. Usually you would see something like earthquake or like thunder, lightning, kill, you know, like it's like always a natural disaster, but in this case they made it a nuclear war, which I think is really cool because of the whole situation between North Korea and South Korea. I live in South Korea, if you didn't know. I'm not worried about war with North Korea, but I still think it's a cool twist to like the typical apocalypse, end of the world type of situation. And yeah, Sunmi has to save us all by closing the gate of hell. We don't really know how that's going to happen, but it's likely that either her or Ogong are going to have to sacrifice their life. Maybe both of them will, which doesn't bode well for a happy ending between this couple. I'm expecting there's going to be a happy ending. This drama is pretty fluffy in general, so I don't really expect a very sad ending, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in K-drama land. So some final thoughts about the drama. First of all, I'm liking it. I'm not loving it, but I'm liking it. I'll tell you what I like. I like the setup with like monster of the week or monster of the episode versus like this really big bad thing that they have to work towards as the show progresses. It kind of reminds me of like Supernatural or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and these are two shows that I really like. I really like Lee Seung-gi's portrayal of Ogong. Like, he's perfect. I absolutely love him. He's doing such a good job. I also really like a lot of the side characters and like the relationships between everybody. Like, there's a lot of like little like funny comments and just like funny faces like between Sunmi and his assistant, or like Mawan and his assistant, like, or like the like ice cream dude and Summer Fairy. Like, there's some like really cute, cool moments there. I'm really enjoying those. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I don't really like Sunmi and Ogong. It's a relationship that I'm not particularly invested in right now. Mostly it's because all of my fears about that bracelet forcing them to like care for each other came true. Literally, they're fighting all the time, and it's annoying. Like, okay, fine, I get it. Of course, Sunmi, who has never had anybody love her except for her grandmother who died when she was very young, is desperate for attention, is desperate for somebody to care for her, is desperate for having somebody on her side. I get it. So of course, she's going to be confused and like reading more into Ogong's behavior and that kind of stuff. But she started off such a strong like female character. Like, she took her disadvantage and she made it work, and she like earned her own fortune. And now it just seems like she's just like a puppy trailing after Ogong all the time, you know? And it's like, she's so smart, but like, it's like all of the character traits that they gave her in episode 1 have gone out the window. And Ogong, like, of course he should be angry, you know? Like, it makes sense. He is a really powerful demon god person, and he's been trapped, and he's been forced to fall in love with someone. But the thing is that like, Sunmi and Ogong literally are fighting one moment, or like arguing or hurting each other's feelings, or like having a talk that basically means that they don't, like, they distance themselves and don't talk for each other for a while. And then half an hour later, they make up. And then half an hour later, they're fighting again. And I just don't have the patience for it. Like, I really want to like them, but I just feel like there's such a better way of developing their relationship than this like back and forth that they're doing. I hope that now that Ogong has said I love you while she's wearing while the bracelet is frozen, that'll help the situation, that they're not going to continue this like back and forth fighting, not fighting, whatever. But I don't know. So yeah, those are my thoughts. You know, I really am liking the show. I love almost everything about it except for like Sunmi and Ogong's relationship. So we'll see how it goes, we see how it progresses, but hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. If you did, please give it a like, let me know. Please let me know below your thoughts on these 4 episodes. And what you think is gonna happen at the end. Are Ogong and Sunmi really gonna die when they save the world or not? I really want to know. And I will see you in a few days when I upload my next review for the next 4 episodes. Bye!